You've probably seen those gorgeous espresso shots flowing in slow motion all over social media. Syrupy, perfect, mesmerizing. But you might also have seen this one, espresso spraying everywhere. What if I told you that both these results come from the same tool here, the Bottomless Portafilter? The Bottomless Portafilter isn't just an Instagram accessory. It's the most powerful tool to diagnostic your espresso shots. But beware, it shows no mercy. Hi everyone, grab your favorite cup of coffee, call in here and you're on Cafe Lista, the channel to learn everything about coffee and espresso at home. Today we're breaking down the Bottomless Portafilter, what it really is, why it sprays everywhere when you start, and most importantly, does it actually improve your coffee taste? A quick spoiler here, the answer might surprise you. First, let's go back to basics. Your espresso machine comes with a spouted portafilter, one like this, or one with a pressurized basket. We will talk about that soon. We have a metal piece here with one or two spouts that channel the coffee in your cup. It's clean, it's practical, it allows you to split a double shot into 2 cups. So the Bottomless Portafilter is exactly the opposite. We've removed the bottom and the spouts, the basket is completely exposed. That's also why we call that naked portafilter. And that changes everything. A crucial point here. Many of you have experienced this, and I still have some issues sometimes with the Bottomless Portafilter. Why? Because you can have a disaster in your kitchen. You know, espresso spraying everywhere. So why does that happen? Because you're not just changing accessories, especially if you are going from a pressurized to a Bottomless Portafilter. You're also changing physics. Most entry-level machines use a pressurized basket. There is a double bottom that artificially creates pressure. So even with a mediocre pre-ground coffee, it works. We can have an espresso, we can have a sort of crema. The Bottomless Portafilter uses a non-pressurized basket. What does that mean? It's your beans and your preparation of the puck that will create the resistance to reach 9 bars. Without a good grinder, without a good preparation, a good technique, that's where the mess could happen. But even sometimes if you do everything perfectly, you can still have issue with that. So now you might wonder, what's the point to use a Bottomless Portafilter? Let's look at what this portafilter reveals. It's like having an HD window into your extraction. Every flaw becomes visible. Let's start with what we want, the perfect extraction. First, we have dark drops that appear uniformly across the basket. They transform slowly into a small stream that quickly converge into a single, stable central cone. So that's the beauty of a well-mastered shot. Now the warning signs. And there are many. The first thing that is really useful is we're gonna see channeling. Channeling is usually the public enemy number 1. Water finds cracks in your puck and rushes through like a torrent. Visually, you will see this gives some violent jets shooting in all directions. It's impossible to miss. Spurts that will splash your machine, your counter, your kitchen. This is here a great indication that something was wrong in our preparation of the puck. We can also have multiple streams that refuse to converge. So instead of having a beautiful cone, we have 2, 3, or 4 separate streams. Sometimes we have something that's also off-center. If your shot consistently pulls to one side, that could also indicate an uneven puck. So either your distribution was wonky or your temp wasn't really straight. As you know, water always takes the easiest path. Sometimes we have a donut shot where the extraction starts from the basket edges before the center decides to flow. So it's not necessarily dramatic, but it can also indicate distribution too concentrated in the center. Another problem we can see with the Bottomless Portafilter. Normally your shot becomes lighter toward the end. That's normal. But if areas turn blonde in less than 10 seconds, for example, that could mean that water is passing too quickly locally. Again, here we have some sort of channeling, we have a bad extraction. But keep also in mind that sometimes a visually imperfect shot can still be delicious. Modern high-performance baskets often give extraction with multiple streams that never really converge. So it could look messy, but it could still be really good. The lesson here, your taste buds always have the final word. So the real value of the Bottomless Portafilter, it forces you to see and to understand your mistakes and to correct them. And by the way, for those who want to go further and really master their extraction, I have prepared a free guide on the espresso extraction. It's free and you will find it linked in the description. So why would you use a Bottomless Portafilter? We have here an immediate feedback on our technique. It is impossible to lie. It is extremely simple to clean, no more nooks where coffee oil accumulates. There is also more room for the scale and a cup. The coffee comes warmer and potentially with a richer crema. Now the cons of this portafilter. The bigger one for me is the mess. Any imperfection in the coffee puck preparation, it's espresso everywhere. There is kind of a brutal learning curve. it could be discouraging at first. And for me, why I still use that a lot, because it's impossible to split a double shot into 2 cups. And now the last one, you might take the habit of always looking to your espresso. So prepare for weird comments. What exactly are you doing? Why are you looking at your coffee like that? So yes, you might look like a coffee maniac, and that's okay, it's the price of a better espresso. If this video helped you understand a little bit more what is a bottomless portafilter, please go leave a like down below. It's always appreciated, it really helps us. And subscribe if you haven't done already, we have lots more to discover about espresso together. So who is it for? I don't think it's for a complete beginner. If you're really starting in the espresso, I would focus, if I were you, on a good grinder and just master the basics of the extraction. If you use a bottomless portafilter without proper equipment and a grinder, it's a frustration guaranteed. But now, if you want to improve your shot, that's perfect. If you have a decent espresso grinder, if you understand the basic of the dose time extraction, the bottomless portafilter will help you identify exactly what's wrong. Now the question I received a lot, does it improve taste? Does the bottomless portafilter make better coffee? So here my answer is no, not directly. If your puck is perfectly prepared, it will give you an equally delicious espresso, whether it goes through a double spout portafilter or a bottomless one. But, and it's a big but, the bottomless portafilter makes you a better barista. It forces you to perfect your grind, your distribution, temping, and that makes balanced, smoother, better espresso. Basically, the bottomless portafilter doesn't make better coffee, but it makes better barista who make better coffee. Which portafilter to choose? Well, it all depends on your machine. We have here a classic standard for the E61 or the 58mm group, but if you use a Breville, if you use a DeLonghi, it will be a different type of portafilter, a different size. It could be 51, 54mm. So check the diameter of your current basket. You will find links in the description for the most common and popular bottomless portafilter. A quick troubleshooting now. So I'm preparing a specific video on that subject. If you don't want to miss it, subscribe. But if your espresso is spraying everywhere, the first thing you want to do is check your preparation. 90% of problems come from here. We want a uniform distribution with a WDT tool. Temping must be perfectly straight and parallel to the basket. We need to have a precisely weighted dose. If your espresso shot flows too fast in less than 20 seconds, you need to grind finer. And also check your beans. If your coffee is older, more than 2 months, for example, after being roasted, it might not have enough CO2 to create a crema and the necessary resistance. The bottomless portafilter is like a mirror. It reflects your technique with a brutal honesty. The first attempts are often humiliating or humbling. It might spurt everywhere, but that's normal, no worries. That's exactly what you need. It teaches you to see, to understand, and to trust your palate more than your eyes. So my recommendation here, if you have a good grinder and if you want to seriously improve, the bottomless portafilter is a great investment. If you're just starting into espresso, first a good grinder and the base of the extraction of the espresso. Have you made the leap yet? Tell me about your first disaster in the comments. We've all been there. As usual, I hope you will have a good week. I'll see you soon. Ciao.